What I see as a relationship between the C&I sector and Eskom Renewables is actually both our futures lie in how we integrate renewables into our different corporates. It is clear technology has shifted drastically towards the renewables. The need for security of supply for the C&I sector, and the fact that the cost of energy is becoming quite critical in the C&I sector brings the two together as we look for innovation and ways of making sure that we provide clean energy to the commercial sector. If you look into the future is around green products. The best way to actually have green products, be it green steel, be it any green export that you have, is really making sure that your input is green. So the ability for us to integrate renewables into the C&I sector will be quite critical also for the competitiveness of South African products to the export markets. Look, South Africa has been leading in this, when it comes to the time frame in which it will take to integrate that renewable energy into the C&I space. South Africa has been leading. If you look at Africa, South Africa is the number one when it comes to uptake of clean energy or renewable energy. But looking into fully integrating it and making sure that it's fully disseminated, the issue that we faced firstly was around availability. So we as South Africans, I think we went on the journey of renewable energy, particularly to solve the issue of availability. That has helped to take us to a certain degree. But certainly now what we're seeing is also the availability of renewable energy at a base load level. So the transition that we're seeing in terms of the battery cost and all issues associated with the renewable would actually dictate the pace in which the C&I uptake. I, for one, believe that in the next 2, 3 to 5 years, we'll see a massive uptake of PV combined with BESS, particularly because the two will likely outcompete certain expectations when it comes to baseload requirement during the day. Most of the C&I space tend to operate during the day, so the load capacity that will be coming from PV and BESS during the day will certainly really be something that will be a game changer. The other thing that I also see taking up in a matter of time is that a lot of C&I space operate in multiple factories or multiple different areas with distributed energy generation from multiple sources. So the idea or innovation around wheeling, aggregating, making sure that it's becoming cheaper for anyone that's not willing to put capital behind the meter or within their companies. So those innovation, the licensing that is now opening up for aggregators or distributors will certainly really unlock further. But the time frame, I think we're up for exciting 2030. In my view, a lot is going to change in the short term while we're stabilizing between 2030 and 2029. When it comes to a particular topic that I'm looking forward to in the C&I stories in Joburg, I would say one is it's really around affordability. Our companies, particularly in South Africa or even our household, are faced with high tariff costs. And while we've resolved largely the issue of availability, the key to competitiveness for our C&I is largely on the cost of energy. I've been engaging with some of the associations, particularly looking at how we as Eskom Green can put cheaper renewables in collaboration with them and looking at clusters at a larger scale that will be dedicated to some of those that are struggling when it comes to cost tariff. So I think a lot more collaboration is what I'm also looking forward to. Innovative ways of collaborating, virtual wheeling discussions, and most certainly how we can optimize the distributed generation so that not everyone has to install renewables but can benefit from the power pool that we now generate and also be able to shift the load as when is required from certain C&I users.